Welcome back, everybody, here to the Bo Carver Show and the Wheels of Justice, right here on 620 AM KEXB, along with my co-host, Judge Jeff Monk, Judge Lisa Woodard, Barbara Ann, Graham Knoxmere Bo Carver is our videographer, and Venus J. Ford flying the plane, keeping us in the air and on the air. Thank you. And our guest this morning is Tim Willett. For us, Louisiana, East Texas folk, but here in North Texas is Tim Willett. Thank you, brother, for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Well, we were talking about it a minute ago about the fact that you are an auctioneer, which is why you're here, basically, and the fact that we met you at one of the shows you did. And give us a little background about just yourself and how you're from McKinney, right?
Well, we live in McKinney now. We've been in the Dallas area for about 25 years. Married, 2 grown children. My daughter's an attorney in Fort Worth.
Awesome.
Ooh.
My son lives in D.C. and works for American Society of Hematology and travels the world coordinating meetings and stuff.
Hematology, is that the blood people?
Yeah.
The
study of blood. It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least he's not part of the government, so we won't be talking about him to you.
Nah, it's not. You can say anything you want to. It'll be good. I'm all over that myself.
I don't know if he's the bloodsuckers, they bring needles.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Talk bad about them.
He studies us sucking the blood, so it's all good.
Is he a vampire?
He could be at some point. I'm not real sure if he's done that yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. But grew up, basically in Wills Point, and went to school at A&M.
That's good.
Ended up playing a little football down there. And
A&M?
Yeah, at A&M.
Well, tell us a little bit about that.
They didn't care for me too much, so I played 1 year, and they asked me to boogie. Wow. Probably shouldn't tell everybody that, but I did finish school. I finished at Sam Houston State, actually.
Was that because of your grades? You partied too much, or you were no good football playing?
A little combination. If you know what I'm talking about. I wish I could specify one thing, but
I think the Vikings could have used you the other night with that punter they had.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. We were talking about the Cowboys earlier. I was a little worn out after that game.
Me too.
One of the worst games I've seen, but I'll take the win.
Absolutely. Dirty win, but we'll take it.
Well, they say that's a real tough place to play in that new arena they have up there.
It's a gorgeous stadium,
and that defense is really a lot tougher than their win and loss record. I think it's their offense that struggles a little bit, but boy, they gave the Cowboys fits. But Cowboys almost shot themselves in the foot a lot of times too. They had a lot of penalties. They played 3 games in 2 weeks, so I think that might have had a lot to do with it too.
And they were talking about the other teams going for 7 days or not getting a rest, but nobody ever once mentioned the Cowboys and their what they've been playing, how they had no rest. So give them a break.
Well, they pulled it out. That's all that matters.
That matters. If they win by 1 or if they win by 50, it doesn't matter.
A win is a win. It's a win. It's a win.
Bo, I'm not sure if I ever told you, talking about my past.
Should we prepare for this?
Is this why your daughter's an attorney now to keep you out of jail?
Should we warn our listeners that this is?
I know, right?
We know a couple judges, so you're good, Tim.
But I will tell you at this point, by saying that, if my wife is up, I'm sure she's going, "Oh dear God, where is he headed now?"
I know, right?
Before you do that, send a shout out to her and tell her you love her before you tell the story.
Melanie, if you're listening, I love you.
We love you too.
43 years of marriage, I think.
Oh my gosh,
so I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay.
Problem is, I probably missed it. So, but prior to that, I was in the professional wrestling business.
That's what we want to talk about, right?
I worked for a couple of companies. One was WWF at the time.
I remember that.
The other one was WCW.
I remember that too.
And started out with Mid-South Wrestling in Bigsby, Oklahoma.
Wow.
With a guy you might remember named Cowboy Bill Watts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was my first boss
really?
into the wrestling business.
Oh, my gosh. You're showing your age.
Yeah. Well, I know I look very young, though.
Yes.
And thank you for bringing that up.
I know, right?
Hey, he's a judge. He knows how to do that.
Well, it's amazing how many people look at me and say, "There's no way you're that old."
Yeah. They say that about me, too.
Yeah. Well,
I remember that.
I've never heard anybody say that, Bo.
Well, you're not around me all the time.
Yeah. Well, you're not very old, though. I can tell.
Well, she's
you look a lot younger than.
She's a.
She is a lot younger than me.
Everybody's a lot younger than me.
Everybody in this room's a lot younger than me.
Bo graduated the day I was born, so we're all good. I'll give that one away.
I like that.
Wow, really?
If you really want a story, then if you go back about 20 years, that'd be really probably,
He
really
probably would have
rocking
been
the
arrested and
We're
put
on
in
AM
jail,
radio.
needing a judge.
Yeah, I'd be in trouble. So tell us a little more about the wrestling industry.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it was really
fascinating.
interesting. Back in 83 or 84, if you remember, the real estate business kind of went bad.
Especially in Houston area, was horrible.
All over Texas, actually, because I was in it. And moved to Dallas, went to work for a marketing firm, and the guy came up and said, and I'll make this quick, came up and said, do you think you could syndicate a wrestling show? Well, my father died when I was 8, but they tell me that he loved wrestling. So in my mind, I went, yes, just thinking my dad would have liked this, I think.
This was an opportunity right here.
And opportunity, that's what it was. And I didn't know what syndicate meant at the time, to be honest with you.
You found that pretty quick, though.
But it didn't take long, and Mid-South Wrestling went from about 30 stations to nearly 75 within a year because I took it real serious.
That's awesome.
And then the Crockett family bought us. I went to 125 markets, and then Ted Turner bought us. And when Ted bought us, we went as far as you could go. So
That was the
classic
era of Hulk
television?
Hogan back in the 80s.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
wait a minute.
Andre the Giant.
This is Texas. The Von Erichs and the Claw.
Yeah, I know,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember going to a wrestling match, and I used to be I was raised with 3 brothers, military. I used to be a fighter. I remember going to a wrestling match, just wanted to walk out there and kick somebody's butt because I was watching them wrestle. My mom goes, "Don't you dare! I'll kick your butt."
Well, I'm so old, I wouldn't know any of the wrestlers. I used to go watch on a Saturday night in Beaumont. It's a sportatorium there, and those guys you wouldn't even know. So,
I will tell you a funny story about Beaumont. I was doing a pay-per-view there. And on a pay-per-view, it's kind of funny because you're trying to pre-sale tickets.
Right.
And one of the guys from this, when I was at WWF, said, "We don't have many people here." I said, "Wait till they open the doors." Mm-hmm. Well, we packed the place. And here's the funny part. There was a guy down at the front row, and he had a bullet.
it was probably me.
No. But he kept pointing that bullet at wrestlers going, "You see this?"
Wow.
And of course, today we would take that
As a
extremely
threat.
serious.
Yeah,
Right.
that's hauling off.
So I
there.
went over to the police chief and I said, "Hey, there's a guy." He goes, "He's had that bullet for 60 years."
OMG, sounds like
Wow.
25.
But those are the things that I remember, plus a lot of stories that I probably would not share with you because might
AM
not work
radio?
on
Yeah.
radio. But
We'd
it
like
was
to be here back.
We'll go to the green room when we
to
get
the
done.
green room. There you go, Judge. But it was a dynamic business, and to work with some of the guys I got to work with, Dusty Rhodes,
OMG.
Ric Flair,
Oh, wow.
the Road
OMG.
Warriors,
That's awesome.
Lex Luger,
Lou, yes.
the Four Horsemen.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, yes, I forgot about them.
And of course, the big question that I was always asked, you know what it is? Is it real
Sure, it's real.
or is it not real?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, they get their
Oh, I
butts
thought you were about to
kicked
say,
all
did you
the
work with The
time.
Rock?
I know, right?
I did not. I did
know,
not. I knew his dad. I think his dad was Thunderbolt Patterson. I could be wrong.
No, I think he was
that
the
could be wrong.
Samoan, the Wild Samoan or something
No,
like
That's
that.
maybe
the
he
movie
was.
that
Yeah,
just
you may
came
be
out
right.
that Rock is
Yeah.
playing.
Oh, well, his either his father or father-in-law or one of those was a Samoan.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I do know that part,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we're
I can't
actually
remember
talking about that on the
how
way
it's
over here.
related.
But I mean, they can say wrestling is fake, but my gosh, it might be fake who's going to win or lose, but by God, they're up there kicking their butts and getting hurt. I mean,
Well,
I'm a Diva fan. I love the Bella Twins.
Awesome.
And they are watching Daniel and them. They get their butts kicked. They're in surgeries. They're hurt. It's just like the NFL. I think it's more dangerous than the NFL.
Even the wrestling? I
Wrestling,
didn't think
yes,
it was
it's real. No, they're in
Is
there.
it?
Well, let me say this. It's professional entertainment.
Right.
And things are scripted, but we had many NFL players that had left the NFL
To try
that couldn't
it.
do it.
Yeah.
And when you 1 minute that's 300 pounds and he's 5 feet on a flexible rope jumping on top of you,
You're getting that impact.
it's a very, very
doesn't
serious
matter.
sport that I
Yeah.
don't think people realize how dangerous it is. It's amazing.
They can break their neck. I mean,
absolutely.
just watching it, yeah, it's very dangerous, and a lot of them get hurt and have to retire early.
Wow.
Right now, you got John Cena. He's the most reputable player, but I don't even think he can wrestle anymore, can he?
I don't know. I'm not I am
30.
far away from it these days, Bo. But
Oh, TV keeps me caught up. I'm watching the Bella Babes all the time. I I love it.
All right,
anyway,
we got to
great.
take a short
Good
break, Tim. Those are great stories, and that's why we have you here this morning. And thanks for being here. We're going to come back with a hot topic here as soon as we take this short break. You are listening to the Bo Carver Show and the Wheels of Justice here on 620 AM KEXB.